Hi everyone, my name is Otis. You're welcome to Otaliems Academy. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all of you that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. But if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, just hit the subscribe button. So I have a very interesting topic to look at today. It's actually frequently asked questions about search engine optimization. So I'm here to answer all your questions. And a couple of weeks, I got a lot of questions that I will be answering today. But if you have questions relating to SEO, please just send it in. So today I'm going to be going through all the questions that we've gotten for the past few weeks. So the first question is, what is SEO and why is it so important? Well, this is a very interesting question. So if you're a website owner, you're a blogger, you're a YouTuber, so you want to know what SEO means. SEO is the acronym for search engine optimization. This involves any activity performed for the improvement of your search engine ranking of your website, your blog, products, services, or page content through organic search. Any effort that you put in to increase your visibility without paying for that traffic is what we call the SEO. Why is it so important? It is important because website owners want to show up on search engine result pages, and you want to increase your visibility and your ranking because that increases your conversion rate and sales. That is why it is important. So the second question is, what is search engine? So search engine is a web-based software or robot that searches for relevant information on the web to answer users' queries. So this is very important. Search engine is a software, is a robot that goes on the internet looking for information on web pages, updated information, and it indexes this information, put it on their database so that when users query for that information, the search engine can pull that information for the user. So that is what search engine is all about. So and another is the third question here. It said if we can name few search engines for them to list their website. Please name few search engine to help me list my website. Well, listing is very important because it's a form of backlink that gives your website a boost, especially with the search engine. So I'm going to list some of the most popular search engine directories. So if you want more, you can actually send us email below. At least our email is down this in this video. So the first and one of the most popular search engine is called the Google. We all know Google. The next one is Bing. Another one, Yahoo, Baidu, Baidu. That's Baidu. Then DuckDuckGo and Yandex. These are some of the most popular search engine. I guess that answers your question. So the fourth is, what is landing page in SEO and why is it important? Well, thank you for that question. Landing page is a lead capture page, a static page, and or a destination page. If you're a website owner, you're a blog owner, so you need your landing page. That's the destination page, a page designed to convert visitors into leads. Any web page used to capture information on a website is termed landing page. That's the first page that your visitors land as a result of your effort to guide that customer journey to the point that you want the customer to convert. So that is why it is called the landing page. And most often, we made the mistake, most website owners or bloggers or newbies thinks that the landing page is just the home page. No, if you are running a campaign, let's say you're running a campaign on Facebook, you're running a campaign on Google. So that particular page that you want to direct that customer to, or the prospective customer, is called the landing page. So the next question, that's question 5, is saying, what is on-page SEO? This is another great question. So every on-page SEO strategy that focuses on ranking your website high in search engine result pages. What does that mean? These are some of those factors that you have control of on your web pages. So that is why it is called on-page SEO. The part of this element are: 1, your content, the structure of your website. And there's the structural foundation of your website, the quality of your code, the textual and the visual element on your website. The reason why it is called on-page SEO, because all these, any of these that enhances the user experience on your page that you have control of, that is what we call on-page SEO, so that the search engine will be able to crawl your site, index that page, and put it in their database. So we're going to question 6. Don't forget, if you have any question, please just send in the question. If you're watching, if you're not watching live, if you're coming back to watch, please, you can just leave your comment or send your questions. So the question 6 is saying, what is click-through rate and why is it important? This is another great question. If you're a website owner, you're a blogger, you're a YouTuber, it is important. It is very, very important and necessary for you to know what click-through rate is. So click-through rates are popularly called the CTR. The C stands for click, T stands for true, and R stands for rate. So it's actually the number of clicks advertisers receive or website owners receive on their ads or on their web page per number of impressions. What is an impression? Impression is quantified as every 1,000 view or every 1,000 click makes an impression. So that's how it is measured. The ratio of the users who click on a specific link to the total number of users who view a page, email, or your ad that you placed on your website. So the click-through rate measures the success of a campaign for a particular website or a YouTube video. So a high click-through rate is an indication that your website users find your ad or content relevant to their search. So the question 7 said, explain what domain authority means and how you can improve it. Well, domain authority is a search engine ranking score that predicts a website ability to rank on search engine. That's what the domain authority means. It's also, in a simple language, it is the strength of a given domain and its relevance to a specific niche or industry. So the question 8 goes, does schema markup improve search engine search engine ranking? Well, I wouldn't say no, but there have not been any evidence at the moment that schema markup has a direct effect on organic search ranking. But we have to be very careful here, because the schema markup, in a simple language also, these are your micro data. So what does it do? It takes care of the schema markup takes care of all the structured data that your website needs. It describes your product, your reviews, the event, or the services for search engines to pick up the data to satisfy the user's query. This is how it works. If you look at your website, or if you are on the web, on Google searching for relevant information, those rich snippet makes up the schema markup. So, though rich snippet do make your web pages appear more visible or prominent in search engine result pages. So your schema markup has shown to improve your click-through rates. And your click-through rates could improve your conversion rate. So it is absolutely important for you to pay attention to that. Then question 11 goes this way. It said, how can I do local SEO? So first of all, I just want to explain what local SEO means. So local SEO, the SEO search engine optimization, is the optimization process that helps businesses position their product and services to local prospects and customers who are searching for information, searching for services or product that is near them or within their geographical location. So how does this local SEO, how do you optimize your website for local search or your blog for local search? One, there are numerous ways. There are so many things that you could do on the internet for you to optimize your website for local search. Firstly, is setting up your business in Google My Business. This is one of the popular and major local search platform owned by Google. So you as a business owner or a blogger, try as much as possible to make sure that your business, your website, or your blog is listed in Google My Business. So it's one of the popular search directories. So you can also optimize all your landing pages, the destination pages, with local keyword data. Take for instance, if you are a plumber, so and you live like in the city of Dortmund, you can use some local keyword plumbers in Dortmund. I'm just giving an example how you can localize your keyword for local searches. So also ensure consistency of your listing across different directories. This comes in when you are building your links or you're listing your website in different directories. So like your address, like your phone numbers, like your business name, make sure that it is consistent, because that gives you that transparency and that integrity that the search engines are looking for on the web. So once you do this, that will help boost your local search. Generate genuine reviews. Generate genuine reviews. Reviews are very, very important because most people check for review before making a purchase or visiting a particular website. Also, optimize your search with rich snippet. Rich snippet are also those micro data, your meta description, your title description. Make sure that your meta and your title description has local intents. So then focus on localized link building. That is also very, very important. I'm just giving you some of the ways that you can optimize your website for local search. Then I'm going to talk about the question again. What is an inbound link? Well, this is another good questions, SEO questions, because links are used to your website visibility on the internet. So inbound links are hyperlinks from a page on the web to a page on your website. What does that mean? Let's look. If your website is listed on Facebook, so or other search directories, so Google and other search engines could actually follow those links to your website. It increases the chances of your site being ranked by search engines, especially when the crawlers, the algorithm, the robots are crawling this site. So search engine use these inbound links to understand content and to gauge the importance of your pages and your website. So that is very, very important when you are optimizing your web pages. So question 13 says, what is the significance of accelerated mobile page? Well, accelerated mobile page was created by Google to compete with Facebook, instant articles, and Apple News. So its significance, it helps publishers like you and I who create content to improve the speed and the readability of mobile content pages. So that's one of the significance of accelerated mobile page. Another question, does reciprocal links hurt my SEO? Yes, reciprocal link will definitely hurt your SEO. That is, if you link to me, I will link back to you. You remember when Google places much emphasis on link building after the algorithm updates. So a lot of people were actually just setting up a web page with no content, no valuable content, and they decide to create links that goes back to the site, and Google was ranking this page. Then after after the algorithm update, a lot of websites were affected. Their traffic, their ranking dropped as a result of Google's penalty, because Google doesn't reward poor or bad job, or if you're trying to game the system, because a lot of website owner and a lot of bloggers were actually gaming the system. So the question 15, how do I build back links without paying for them? Well, this is a very, very interesting question, and you just want to get this for free. Actually, are there really free launch? But let us look at let's look if we can actually get some free launch. There are some free launch on the internet. So before I answer the question, I just want to look at what backlinks are. I talked about outbound, inbound links, and we also have the inbound links. So links are very, very important for your SEO, for your visibility, and for your website ranking, because it's one of the ranking factor that Google consider before ranking your website. So the question is now, how do I build backlinks without paying for them? So the first is actually researching competitors' backlink, write articles relating to your niche, valuable one, do keyword research, make sure that your content is actually rich, because once your content is rich and it is published, a lot of people are going to link back to your website. So another question, I think I answered it before, and it said, what is impression? So impression is actually the number of times that your ad shows up on the search result pages. So which is measured per thousand. So per thousand, 1,000 is one impression. So the next question is, please, I just want to know what PPC is all about. Thank you. It's just as simple as the name. PPC is pay per click. So if you're running a campaign on the internet, you're paying Google, or you're paying Facebook, or you're paying other social network, you're paying Yahoo, you're paying Bing to advertise your business, to drive traffic or quality traffic to your website. That is what we call the paid PPC, or the paid advertisement. So I'm going to talk. The next question is, how many content am I supposed to have on my web pages? Well, it is not a rule, but from experience, I've seen that for Google to and other search engine to index your page, you should have a minimum. I think the expectation is about 300 words. 300 words. So for you to be indexed, make sure that your pages do not have less than 300 words on your website. So the next question is, what is keywords? Keywords, these are how your site, your website, or your blog advertises its content on the web to your prospective audience, to the target audience. So if you're using, users use certain words to search for information on the web, and those are referred to keywords. So when you are optimizing your site, you kind of envisage the searcher's intent. What are the words that your prospective customers are likely going to use to search for your product or for your services? So those words are called keywords. So the question, why is meta tag important in SEO? Why is it important? Well, the meta tag is actually a brief description of what your page is all about. And it should be compelling enough to attract your prospective audience to click the link to your website. A good meta tag description increases your click-through rates. So if your click-through rate is high, the chances that your sales will, your conversion rate will increase is actually very, very high. So another question is, please, what is the meaning of SERP in search engine optimization? SERP stands for Search Engine Result Page or pages. So another question is, what is web crawler? Well, web crawler is a piece of software or algorithm that crawls web pages looking for relevant information. The search engine uses it to update its database. They look for fresh content on the web. So if you publish your website, or you just publish your website for the first time, and this search engines uses these spiders called the web crawler to look for if there are relevant information, updated information on the web. So they put that in their database, that when users query the search engine for certain information, they pull that from the database and present it to the customer to satisfy the customer's query. So this is another question about domain authority. I think I just answered it. I said just see it as the strength of your domain. So another question is, what is domain name? Thank you for that question. Domain name is like your street address. So every business, every blog, every website owner need a domain to get started on the internet. It works in a similar way like the satellite navigation need physical address to provide direction, so also your browser needs your domain name to refer traffic to your website. So it is very important. It's the foundation, the beginning of your online transition. So what is web hosting? Thank you for that question. So the web hosting is just like the land that you build your house on. Remember, we said the domain name is like your address. So if you want to go online, you want to set up your website, you want to set up your blog, so you need a hosting to keep all your files, all your information about your business, to keep it on the web, on the internet. So you need a domain, you need a web hosting. And there are a lot of web hosting registrars, like domaincode.com. They provide awesome service, 24-hour support service. It's very important if you are starting an online business, you're starting newly. So I highly recommend domaincode.com. I use them, and I've been using domaincode for years. So another question is, how do I discourage the search engine, or how do I block the search engine from crawling my web pages, some of my pages? So it all depends on the content management system you're using if you're using WordPress, you can actually install some plugins like the Yoast plugins, and that gives you that opportunity to actually check the burst of what is called the non-follow. So when you check the non-follow, so you are telling the search engine not to crawl that pages. It might be that the pages contain the information that you don't want to make public. That's some of those reasons why we instruct the search engine not to crawl certain pages on our website. So, how do I know? The next question is, how do I know the best hosting plan to get? Well, it all depends on the type of business that you are doing, or if you're a blogger or you're just a newbie and you don't have much information, you don't have much file on your website. So there are different plans. So let me go through some of these different plans, different hosting plan. We have the Cpanel, which is a kind of universal. Most website owners, most bloggers actually use the Cpanel. The Cpanel, I'm just going to explain it this way. It has the basic, you have the dealers, and you have the ultimate. The basic is just like you're starting life newly. It's just like having a one room apartment. Then you can only host one website with your Cpanel with the basic. Then if you start growing, you can actually upgrade. That's one of the beauty of the Cpanel hosting. So the next is what we call the Cpanel Economy. These ones are available in domaincode.com. It's easy, reliable, and 99% uptime guaranteed. So that can also host one website, but it has 100 gigabyte space and unlimited bandwidth. Then the Cpanel Deluxe, you can host unlimited website with unlimited space and unmetered bandwidth. Also, you have 500 business email. So then you have the ultimate, also reliable, unlimited website, unlimited space, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited. You have about 1,000 email account that you can use for your business. So then you have the WordPress hosting. The difference between the Cpanel and the WordPress hosting is, with the WordPress hosting on domain codes, it's just one-click install. But the difference is that you just taking that one or two steps to install the WordPress on the Cpanel. But that could save you also a whole lot of money. It could save you up to $40 to $50 a year if you're using the Cpanel hosting. So then you have the business hosting. If your business begin to grow and you're having more files, you're having more content, you're talking about 300, 400 pages, so you can go for the business hosting. So at this point, you still get unlimited web hosting for your business website. It gives you the speed and the functionality of actually owning your own virtual private server. So you can actually control that yourself. So no matter the requirement or the capacity of your business website, this plan can suit that business. So then we're going to talk about the virtual private server. So your business is really big. The difference between these different plans that I've actually talked about is in a simple language. The first one I talked about the one room apartment. You go into the laws, you're talking about 2-room apartment or 3-bedroom apartment. Your business owner, you're now beginning to look about having renting your own entire building. Then the virtual private server, you're just talking about controlling everything by yourself, having an in-house team. You want to be more private. So you want to be more private. So just like you having a bungalow. So that's what it is. So, and the next question is, what is the importance of SSL certificate? Well, thank you for this question. It's a very, very important question because Google and other search engines are beginning to discriminate against the sites that do not have SSL certificate. Well, SSL certificate is actually secure security layer. What it does is that it encrypts and protects your customers' transaction and data with the highest level of encryption so that the hackers, the bad guys on the internet, cannot intercept some vital information, personal information, and financial information. So it's also to protect your site and customer information from the cyber attack. So it's also available at domaincode.com. So I believe that answers your question. So the next question is, do I need a website backup? So even though that I have a hosting plan, these are two different things. Your hosting is to keep your site on the internet, but the website backup help to keep your information safe in case anything happened to your website. So you can fall back to a backup file so you can restore your website or your blog back to the last update from the database. So you stand the risk of losing every information that you have on your website if anything happened, if your site is hacked or you play with some piece of code and it brought down your entire site. So you can call back those files if you have the website backup. For the question that you ask, if it is important, yes, it is important. I will highly recommend that you do that. So, web security. So, why do I know the best web security to get? So, thank you for that question. It's relative. From my experience, like what I'm using, I know domain codes, they have web security. It's competitive, the pricing is competitive and good. So the importance of the web security is that it protects your entire site from cyber attack. Studies shows that 30,000 websites, 30,000 plus, over 30,000 websites suffer cyber attack every single day. And most of these businesses fall within the small business website. So you want to protect your code and you don't want your site to be vulnerable. So that's why you need web security. So it secures your website through automatic malware scanning and removal. So if that piece of code is installed on your website to steal information, so this web security uses it's the software scans your website and takes this malicious code off your website. So that's why it's very, very important for you to have the website security. So another question is, how do I get a business email? What is the difference between the business email and just my Yahoo email or my Gmail account? So these are two different things. You want to treat your business as purely business. So, and for that integrity of your business, you need a business email because people trust business email than the personal email on the trust perspective, because people feel that personal emails are vulnerable to hackers, and no business want to compromise their information. So, and they find it trustworthy to work with business email. The business email we're talking is just when you see that has the attachment of the business name or the website name or the domain of the business. So another question is, what is what is plugins? Thank you so much for these questions again. If you're using WordPress, you'll understand what the importance of plugins, because it adds beauty to your website. If you're looking at the aesthetic look of your website, you want to improve the look and feel of your website. So the plugins actually help you to customize your website, gives you an added feature to customize your website. So it's very, very important, especially if you are using the WordPress content management system. So another question is, what is the domain? How many domain extensions? How do I know the domain extension to use for my website or for my domain name? So you have different domain extension. One is the .com, which stands for commercial. So if the motive of establishing your business is to make profit, so you go with the .com. And the .com is the most popular domain extension in the world. So then you have the .org, that's the .org. The .org is for non-profit organization. So that is the impression, that is the perception, and that is what it ought to be. So if you're setting up your business as a charity, you're a church, a religious organization, offering, volunteering for free services, so you can go with the .org. Then you have the industry-specific domain name. These are the domain names that have the preface or the suffix of the industry that you are in. Let's say photography, and your name is ABC, and you want people, then you can use the abc.photography. You have also the country specific domain. The the country specific domain is the one that have the suffix of the country. Some businesses want to be recognized from a specific country, or they want to be popular. They want the citizens, or they want people to know that we are resident in this country. So all this extension, the choice, is actually based on the type of business or the type of perception that you want to build online. So it is important that I let you know that. So the country specific domain, just like .us, .uk, .india, .ng, .au, Australia, .ng, Nigeria, and other countries around the world. So country-specific domain is actually becoming popular. But if you ask me, I go with the most popular domain name because of global bias. So the reason is it's just a kind of a perception. So the .com, especially if you're a newbie, if you're just starting, I suggest that you go with the .com, except for some other reasons. Then you might choose the one that you actually want to use. Then the next one is the .net. The .net is also domain extension for the business in the tech industry. So that's what the .net is for. This network. That's what that means. So if you look at these different extensions, so what happens is that they take the prefix, especially the first 3-letter words from this extension that forms the suffix of your domain name. So they add it to your domain name. That's why you see the www, the World Wide Web .abc, which is your business name, .com or .org. So the next question is Google Console. What is the importance of Google Console to my optimization process? Well, thank you for that question. The essence of Google Console is to actually pinpoint, to help you with some problem. If your site is having problem, the Google AdSense actually tell you what the problem is and how to fix those problems, especially technical problem, the structural defect on your site. So if you install the Google Console, and Google generate report for you every single time that there's a breach on your website. So another question is, what is Black Hat SEO? Black Hat SEO refers to an ethical way of optimizing your website, trying to game search engines to believe, making the search engine to believe what your website is not, just with the aim to rank high on search engine. But Google and other search engine smart in terms of knowing some of these sites that are trying to game the system. And the penalties are high if Google and other search engines discover that you're trying to game using the black hat to game the system. So you could be delisted. And once that happens, it takes your visibility, they take you off their database. So nobody finds you on the internet. Then the next question that precedes it is, what is white hat SEO? Well, you have the black hat and you have the white hat. White hat is all the ethical way of optimizing your website, following the rule, you're Google compliant, you're making sure that every piece of information is available on your site. So you're not going against the Google rules and regulations. So those are the white hats. You're following the content guideline. You're following the structural foundation of your website. So you're making sure that you're you're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's on your website. So once you do that, Google actually reward you for that effort, for that your manual effort, through your natural effort. So Google rewards you by indexing, by crawling, indexing, and ranking your site high. So another question is keyword a ranking factor? Well, keyword has been a ranking factor in increasing your web visibility, then ranking your site. But the last Google update, which was this year, I think that was probably in April or March. So it no longer a ranking factor. So, but it's very, very important because, like I rightly said before, it is how your site advertises its content to the world. Google updated its algorithm by actually taking into consideration the user's intent rather than focusing on just keywords. So that was the changes that Google made in its last update. And another update is actually going to take effect. I just want to sidetrack a little bit. Will go into effect in September, which is also that's the user intent, and the user intent is already in effect. The mobile accelerated pages, because Google is actually transiting our website to mobile. So if your site is not optimized for mobile, so you're going to see a drop in your ranking. So you still have few days to actually make sure that to check your website that it is mobily optimized. So another question that I have here is the domain authority. I actually answered it in my earlier on. So the domain authority is actually the strength, like I just said, the strength of your domain. So another question is, what is search visibility? Search visibility is how visible is your website on the internet? So is your website visible to your prospective visitors or prospective customers? So if it is visible, so then you can get more customers to your website. So another question is, how long does it take for my website to show up on search engine result pages? So there's no definite time, but I will just give with experience. I will say a 6 months period. A 6 months period. We do that with consistent work, with consistent optimization. So your website could rank high on search engine if you are following the Google guidelines. So what the next question is, what are the things that I should be looking at when I'm optimizing my website? Great question. One, the quality of your content. One, submitting your site to different directories. Then the third is your meta tag description. Then the fourth is checking the schema markup, the mobile usability of your website, link building. These are very, very important things that you need to look at when you are optimizing your website. Make sure that your meta tag description, the title is your meta tag description is up to 300, minimum 160. Your meta tag description. Another question is, these questions are kind of interrelated. So, and it said get first page SEO ranking. How do I get first page SEO ranking? So getting first SEO ranking, make sure the link building, because your site is dead if you do not have links, inbound and outbound links. Internal link is also very, very important for your on-page SEO, because if your pages are interlinked, it enhances the user experience on your website. So another question is, how can you optimize how SEO, or the steps of how SEO works? This is also okay. I'll do that. So the first thing to do is to create a list of keywords. Analyze your competitors' websites and how they are showing on search engine result pages. Create something that is unique, different from your competitors. Optimize for on-page search engine SEO. Optimize for search intent. Try to envisage what the customers are likely going to use to search for your business, for your product. Make your content look great or awesome. And also build links to your page. I can't overemphasize that. So there's also a follow-up question here. It said, is SEO easy? Well, SEO is actually likely easier than you think if you're doing it the right way. But don't underestimate the amount of time and effort that it will take you to get your site to rank in search engine. If you follow the rules, you'll be able to optimize your website to show up on search engine result pages. And don't expect to climb the rank on a national scale. You can start optimizing if you're a small business owner, or you're a small blog owner or a website owner. You can start with your local SEO and try to dominate your local area. So the next question is, can I learn SEO on my own? Well, yes, you can learn SEO on your own, but if you have a mentor, that would be good. So nobody can actually teach you anything. They can only inspire you to teach yourself. So that's what I'm doing. I'm only inspiring you to teach yourself and make sure that you follow all the rules and the guideline. So the last question here is, where can I practice SEO? So that's a very good question. So you can practice SEO on your website. You can also offer it as a service to businesses that are searching for search engine optimization expert. So, and you can also be a consultant in the field of digital marketing. So I think that's the last question that we have for today. And I just want to say thank you for listening to this tutorial and this presentation. And again, I just want to remind you, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please just hit the subscribe button. And I look forward to see you in our